Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Sturm coming at you from Team Shadow Strike, and I am bringing you a deck profile that I have wanted to make for so long, and now thanks to set 15 being out, it is possible, and it is my Dragonic Overlord, the Rebirth deck profile. I have so many visions for this deck. This is the current build that I'm testing with. It is going to be changed a lot, so, between now and, down the road, but this is the current build that I'm playing with. It probably won't remain like this forever, because I have like 6-7 different ideas that I want to try with this deck, so it's going to take me some while to find everything to the perfect, but I'm just playtesting what I have done with it. It's working exceptionally well, but no deck's perfect the first time around. So anyway, I'm going to just jump straight into this, and I'll explain my choices. Okay, for my starter, I am using Lizard Soldier Fargo. Now, you might be asking, well, why aren't you using Red Pulse Draco Kid? Red Pulse Draco Kid being the Counterblast 1, move it to the soul, look at the top 5 for a grade 3 and add it to your hand. The reason that being is now, since we have a new grade 1 for this deck called Eternal Bringer Griffin, you search out the grade 3, which is the Dragonic Overlord Break Ride. You search it out pretty easily as long as you have a grade 3 in your hand and Griffin. So, I really don't see the need for Red Pulse. Now, if I do find myself still not being able to get to a grade 3 without it, then I will probably switch back. For right now, I'm running with Fargo. He works very well. If you don't know what Fargo does, he has Pioneer Effect. When I grade 1 Kagero, he slides out. But then his ability is when you have an Overlord Vanguard, you can move him into the Soul, and that turn, any time your Overlord Vanguard's attack hits, whether it hits a Vanguard or a Rear Guard, after that attack, you then may destroy one of your opponent's rear guards. So it works very well the turn that you cross Break Ride with Rebirth. But I'm going to be doing a couple of instructional videos like I've done in the past, where I explain some of the combos that you might see with the deck. So now for triggers, for the critical triggers, I was strongly considering playing one of every critical trigger, but here's the problem. If you ever do take a deck like that to a major tournament where you have to write out your cards on a deck list sheet, that would get very annoying. So I just picked some of my favorites, and I kept that decision to 3. I'm playing currently 3 copies of Demonic Dragon Mage Apalala. This one's probably my favorite critical trigger that Kagero has. I just love that artwork. 2 copies of Blu-ray Draco Kid, and 2 copies of Lizard Soldier Gora for 7 crit. Then for my draw triggers, I'm playing 3 copies of Seal Dragon Artepeak, and 2 copies of Gatling Claw Dragon. And then for my heal triggers, I'm playing 2 copies of Dragon Dancer Barbara, and 2 copies of Dragon Dancer Teresa. So 2 of each of the Dragon Dancer heal triggers. So you can mix and match. I mean, for the heal triggers, there's 4 heal triggers for Kagero, so you can play 1 of each if you want. But I just chose to play the Dragon Dancers. But grade 1s. 4 copies of Wyvern Guard Bari. Now, this is just me. Whenever I'm playing an Overlord variant, I gotta use Wyvern Guard Bari, because Bari, it's classic Kagero. I consider an Overlord no matter what form he is in, whether it's classic Dragonic Overlord the End, Dragonic Overlord the Rebirth, or even future Dragonic Overlord the Great, if you know what I'm talking about. You have to use Bari. Except I will say the new Perfect Guard that Overlord gets, that goes with the Great, looks pretty cool, so I might switch over to that. But I have to use Bari. I just don't feel right until that new Perfect Guard comes out, and I look at it and decide if I like it better than Bari. Bari is just, it's probably my favorite Perfect Guard, out of all of them that I've seen. Or if not my favorite, then tied with Prometheum for Link Joker. But anyway. 4 perfects. Then 4 Eternal Bringer Griffin. The reason I play 4 of this card is because it fuels, it puts your Overlords in the drop zone so you can deck thin. But it also helps set up for your burnout plays with your grade 2s. So I think playing 4 is good. Even if you don't use its skill in the end, it's still a solid 7k boost. So, and in general, you're going to use maybe 1 to 2 Griffins a game. So that way I see it early. So he is there. And then I also am currently using 4 copies of Dragon Mage Gojo. Actually, forgot his name there for a second. He's pretty much a staple in Kagero decks. Most Kagero decks play anywhere from 3 to 4 copies of him. Just for the simple fact being, you know, he can help you recycle dead cards. He can help you get to a certain card if you're looking or you're digging. And then I'm currently playtesting 2 copies of Breath of Origin Rolamandre, even though there are a couple other cards that I want to try out in this slot. Rolamandre is the self-damager for Kagero. He is doing fairly well right now. Grade 2s. 4 copies of Dragonic Burnout. This is one of the best cards that is in this deck and that Kagero has now. Burnout, his ability is whenever he's placed on the rear guard, you may Soul Blast 1 and then take an Overlord card from your damage zone and put it on the from your drop zone and put it on the bottom of your deck, and then you can destroy 1 unit on your opponent's field. So for a Soul Blast of 1 and putting an Overlord from your drop zone to the bottom, you basically get a free pop. And the fact that now you don't have to counterblast as you had to do originally with Berserk Dragon, you know, this card now pretty much makes Berserk Dragon in a Overlord deck pointless. Sorry, Berserk Dragon, we loved you, but Dragonic Burnout is just better. For the rest of the grade 2s, we're playing 4 copies of Burning Horn Dragon, the classic 12k attacker for Overlord Vanguards. This came out originally in Set 5, so hopefully if you did have these, you held on to them if you planned on building this deck. But pretty simple, have an Overlord Vanguard, he swings for 12, so I mean that's pretty self-explanatory. He was also one of the first 12k attackers we saw. And then 3 copies of the Dragon Knight Nahalem. 10k vanilla. It's a good solid ride target. There are a couple more grade 2s I want to test in this, but you know that first I have to get them all, and then I'm going to play test and see where I go from there. But right now, Nahalem is good because he is a good solid turn 2 ride for your grade 2. So. And then for grade 3s, this is probably pretty self-explanatory, but 4 copies of the coolest artwork, you know, of this is probably my favorite artwork in the game right now. Before this, it was Chaos Breaker, but now it's Dragonic Overlord Break Ride artwork. I freaking love this artwork, even though Chaos Breaker is still very, very close to it. So, you know, I could say tied for first, but Overlord I just freaking love how he's posed, like how he's kind of hovering above flames. It just looks so freaking cool. And one thing that I'm really happy about is I've managed to accumulate 2 SP Overlords, which is really, really cool. I'm going to get the grade 3s in this deck SP'd out. That is my goal. But anyway, let me read to you his effects real quick if you have not seen it yet. His ability is when a Kagero rides this unit, choose your Vanguard. That unit gets 10,000 power until the end of turn, and the skill of when it attacks a rear guard, you may counterblast 1 and drop 1 Kagero unit from your hand to restand. So, it's good even if you break ride an Overlord on top of an Overlord, because you can attack a Vanguard and you're going to be more than likely 21 or 23. Well, you'll either be 21 or 23 if you don't boost. And then what happens is, after that attack concludes, whether it hits or not, you're going to counterblast 1, discard 1, and restand. So you do get 2 twin drives out of it, which is a good thing. And then also, whenever he attacks, if you have more rear guards than your opponent does, then he's a 13k attacker. So, and then for the last grade 3, we play 4 copies of Dragonic Overlord The Rebirth. A badass. That's what he is. He's a badass. One of the best break ride combos that there is, arguably one of the top 3. Let me read to you Rebirth real quick here. His ability is Limit Break, Counterblast 1, and choose 1 or more Kagero rear guards and lock them. If the number of locked cards you have is 5 or more until the end of turn, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and the ability of At the end of the battle that this unit attacked a vanguard, you may discard 2 Kagero units to restand this unit. This ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn, and also when you have a Dragonic Overlord in the soul, he is a 13k attacker at all times. So now let me explain to you the full combo. You're going to have a Dragonic Overlord right here. You're going to take a Rebirth, and you're going to cross Break Ride when you're at 4 or more damage. Then what you're going to do is you're going to activate Rebirth's Limit Break. You're going to Counterblast 1, and you're going to lock all 5 of your rear guards. Then what you're going to do is you're going to have a Vanguard now at the total of 33,000 power. You're going to have 10,000 power for Break Riding, and then another 10,000 power when you've locked all 5 of your rear guards due to Overlord the Rebirth's Limit Break. Then what you're going to do is you're going to attack one of their rear guards. Normally, you're going to pick the one that's going to cause you the most pain. If they only have a grade 2 and a grade 3, then I would suggest hitting the grade 2, so it's one less card that they have to intercept for this massive attack. If they have 2 grade 2s, I would pick their 12k attacker if they have one of those out. But anyway, you're going to be attacking that rear guard for 33,000 power. They are not going to guard it. And this is where Fargo comes in handy. The turn that you cross Break Ride and you have Fargo still out on your rear guard, take Fargo and move it into your soul. That gives Rebirth a new ability. So now, anytime Rebirth's attack hits, you can destroy one of their rear guards. So 33,000 to one of their rear guards. Your opponent is not going to guard this attack. If they do guard this attack, make sure you shake their hand and give them a hug, because they're only doing you a favor. You're going to attack. That attack, if that attack hits, which it more than likely will, first thing that's going to happen is Fargo's skill is going to activate. Since he is in the soul and his ability is life this turn, since you just since your Overlord Vanguard's attack did hit, you get to destroy one of your opponent's rear guards. So technically, in this first attack, you are going to destroy 2 of your opponent's rear guards. Then you are going to activate Dragonic Overlord's Break Ride skill. You're going to Counterblast 1, drop 1 Kagero unit from your hand, so any card, and then restand. Then you're going to attack your Vanguard again. You're going to attack their Vanguard this time, I'm sorry. Then you're going to attack their Vanguard after you've already had 1 Twin Drive, so any triggers you got have obviously been put on Rebirth. So for the second attack, he has the possibility of being at best 43,000 power if you hit 2 triggers on the first drive check. Then, after you attack the Vanguard, for the second time, after that attack concludes and you've gotten 2 more drive checks, and you have the possibility at being anywhere from 33,000 to 53,000 if you've hit 4 triggers, which is extremely unlikely, you're going to restand by discarding any 2 Kagero units from your hand. Then what you're going to do is you're going to attack their Vanguard. This is going to be your 3rd attack for the turn, and it's going to be your 3rd Twin Drive that turn as well. Your Vanguard's attack will be anywhere from 33,000 to 53,000 power when you're attacking. So at most, you could, if some miracle you hit 6 triggers on this turn, you could have anywhere between 33 and 63,000 attacking power. If your opponent is not holding on to a perfect guard, they're going to be in a very difficult spot. But the reason Fargo is so good, the turn you cross Break Ride, you move him to the soul. You attack a rear guard. That rear guard is going to die. And then you get, since your attack hit, you get to pop another rear guard. Then by using Overlord's Break Ride skill, Counterblast 1, stand back up, you're going to attack. Generally, your opponent is going to have to take one of the Vanguard attacks that Rebirth launches at it. They're normally not going to perfect guard both attacks unless they have to or try to guard both of them. If that attack hits, you can retire another rear guard. I've had it to where once I hit all 3 times, and I popped 4 rear guards in total, which was amazing. The only reason they survived was they death healed. But that is why Fargo works so well as the starter. He helps make your cross Break Ride turn more devastating, because not only are you forcing your opponent to eat their hand like crazy, you're going to be wiping their field as well. So that's why I play Lizard Soldier Fargo. So That's the nonsense known as Rebirth. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile on my current build of Dragonic Overlord, the Rebirth. I really enjoyed playing this deck. I have so much fun playing with it. I am so glad this deck is finally here. I have been thinking about playing this deck for so long, and I love it. I love dragons, and it's a dragon overload for me. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. So in the comment section below, please feel free to leave your comments and your feedback or suggestions if you have them. I would be more than happy to at least hear what you guys have to say. If you have a question of why I play certain cards or why I don't use certain cards or anything, just leave the questions below and I'll answer it. I will tell you, I will be doing a deck instruction video on Rebirth, giving you some tips on what you're generally going to see, how you can help your case when you're playing against this deck. Couple of combos, things like that, and I will be answering any and all questions that you have on the deck. So if you would like, in the comment section below, any question that you leave on this deck, Rebirth, I will answer in my Rebirth instructional video when I get to it. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave all your questions below. If you have 5, 6, 7 questions, leave them all below. They will all be answered. I don't care how long it takes. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up this video for me. Leave some feedback below for me, and I will see you guys later.